Welcome to Songwriters Across Texas, filmed in Austin, Texas at the Broken Spoke, where songwriters have been making their dreams come true for almost 50 years. Hello, I'm Carl Hutchens, voice of Songwriters Across Texas. Over the past year, Songwriters Across Texas has filmed over 80 artists and aired over 31 episodes. Our mission is to support Texas songwriters and let the public hear some of the great music that is around us. Our next season begins September 1st with a very special series as we give tribute to Freddy Powers. His accomplishments as a performer and songwriter are legendary, but it is his heart for and support of unknown and struggling talent that has endeared him to us. So join us as we follow his journey through interviews and performances of his songs by those who hold him so dear.
A guitar on his knee, plays a song and sings country Dixie. Oh, one time let me down, and you put me on a natural. Those country songs we all want to hear, and there'll be no more two-stepping or waltzing on a wooden floor.
And bright stars help to keep our country strong. Yes, the Star-Spangled Banner, it's the greatest country song.
One, two, three. He came from West Texas with a pen in his hand, writing and singing
The first time I met Freddy was, I was about 5, about to turn 6, and I remember my dad put us on the Merle Haggard email list because he loves Merle Haggard, and he knew that Freddy and him had written some songs together and everything, and he loved all those songs, and then but he didn't really know very much about Freddy, and then so he started putting on, him and my mom started putting on clips of me singing onto the emailing list, and from that Freddy and Catherine heard it, and they invited us over to their house, and we were like, okay, and we thought this is probably not anything that big, and then so we just went over and we played with him and stuff, and then right from that, one day, then he asked me if I wanted to start doing some gigs. I love Freddy because he was so welcoming to me and my family, and they just jumped in there, and he just mentored me with barely knowing me, and I think people love him because of the way that he writes songs, and he's just so kind and awesome. And I don't know, there's so much to say about Freddy, but he's been a big influence in my life.
You never one time let me down, and you put me on a natural.
Anyone can sell a product. At Atex Family Fun Center South, we offer backyard dreams. For 40 years, Atex has been providing Austin with quality products and excellent service. We sell hot tubs and swim spas, Doughboy and Vogue swimming pools, and of course, all the accessories to keep your hot tub, pool, or swim spa clean and running beautifully. Come visit us, and I promise we'll take good care of you.
Hi, I'm Mark Haig. My friends and customers call me Barbecue. I work at Hennis Chevrolet, the 8800 block of IH-35 North in Austin, Texas. We have approximately 20 acres and anywhere from $30 to $40 million worth of new and used cars and trucks available at all times. My number's at the bottom of the screen. Please give me an opportunity to earn your business, and I want to thank songwriters across Texas for giving me this opportunity. Adios. Have a great evening.
Hi, my name is Valerie Elmore. I'd like to welcome you to American Party Rental. We've been in the Austin area for 25 years, serving party rental needs from small backyard events to weddings to large corporate events and fundraising. From tables and chairs to china to tabletop service, we can handle any event you're planning. Come meet our friendly staff at our new larger location on Burnett Road. We'd love to help you.
You stayed with me through thick and thin. You watch me lose, you watch me win. You pick me up off of the ground. You never one time let me down, and you put me on a natural high, and I can fly, I can fly. I was drowning in a sea of make-believe, as helpless as a falling leaf. You gave your hand to me that day, and you did it 'cause you made that way, and you put me on a natural high, and I can fly, I can fly. show. You love me and you let me know. Darling, just remember these 3 words. I love you, I love you, I love you. And you put me on a natural high. And I can fly, I can fly. And you put me on a natural high. And I can fly, I can fly. I first met Freddy because they used to live out in Spicewood, and that's where I grew up. And they'd host these picking parties, and that's kind of when I first started playing music. And this was probably the most magical musical experience I've ever had, playing with some of the best musicians in Texas and best songwriters, such as Freddy. And Freddy just, it doesn't matter how he's feeling or what he's doing, he always wants to tell a joke. And he just, even, started getting to the point where he could barely tell these jokes, but he constantly wants to make people laugh and be happy and spread joy. And I just love that about him. What I love about Freddy the most is that not only is he my songwriting hero, but he brings people together from all over Texas, and his love for music is so deep in his heart, and that's how I feel. He's such a passionate person and just a good soul.
That they may be gone tomorrow, so help me sing this song. Let's all dance together before the honky-tonk.
Austin's homegrown Mighty Fine does all the things required to make a truly premium burger. The meat is all natural, no hormones or preservatives, ground on site, fresh every day. Patties are hand-formed, and finally, to keep them juicy, the patties are allowed to cook naturally, never smashed or pressed down. A better burger that actually is a better burger. Mighty Fine burgers, fries, shakes.
We've got it all. The Floor Centers of Texas. The Floor Store with more floors. The Floor Centers of Texas.
At Floor Centers of Texas, we understand the decision to get new floors is a big deal for your family. That's why we want to thank so many of you for putting trust in us to take care of your flooring needs. Come see us in either of our locations and let us prove to you our dedication to making the decision an easy one. Great prices, great service, great floors.
The Floor Store with more floors. The Floor Centers of Texas.
There's one less honky-tonk in Texas. Another one died today. They put a sign on its place, pulled the window shades, and they pulled the plug on the jukebox. Sweet songs just to die, and there ain't no use in crying, 'cause it happens all the time. People take for granted, crying in their bed. all wanna hear. And there'll be no more two-stepping or waltzing on the wooden floor, 'cause they put a sign on its place and then they lock the door. For the smokers and the jokers and the drinkers and the thinkers and the people who don't have no place to go. For the cowboys and the ladies and the boys who love to fight, there's one less honky-tonk in Texas tonight. That's right. So the next time you're in Texas, or you dance to a country band, or you have yourself a cold one, just remember if you can that they may be gone tomorrow. So help me sing this song. Let's all dance together before the honky-tonks are gone. For the smokers and the jokers and the drinkers and the thinkers and the people who don't have no place to go. For the cowboys and the ladies and the boys who love to fight, there's one less honky-tonk in Texas tonight. One more time, boys. For the smokers and the jokers and the drinkers and the thinkers and the people who don't have no place to go. For the cowboys and the ladies and the boys who love to fight, there's one less honky-tonk in Texas tonight. Yeah, we'll miss that old honky-tonk Saturday night.
First time I met Freddie Powers was through a friend of mine, Molly McKnight, and her dad was Texas Senator Peyton McKnight. Freddie and Peyton were good friends, and we drove out to Freddie's house, and after the first introduction to Freddie and Catherine, we just connected, and he took me under his wing after he heard me sing and put a guitar in my hand and taught me everything I know. My favorite memory of Freddie Powers is all of them, so I can't really pick just one. I remember this one time in particular where he said, "Come on out to the house, we're gonna have a picking party this morning and have some coffee," and I didn't live too far, so I said, "Okay, yeah, I'll be right over." And so walked in, and he said, "I want to introduce you to my two very good friends," and it was Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard. And you know, I've never gotten over that. I mean, every time I'm around Freddie or Merle or Willie, I'm like a sponge. I have to absorb what's being said, what's being played. Another really fun memory that I have is when they had a Coach Darrell Royal and Willie golf tournament, and Freddie called and he said, "Hey, I know you can play some golf, and we're needing somebody to cover a spot on our team." And I said, "Well, who's on your team?" And he said, "Well, it's Coach Darrell Royal and Sonny Throckmorton and I." And I was like, "Okay." So I went down to the golf tournament, and Catherine said, "Here, just ride on the golf cart with Freddie, and we'll follow Coach and Sonny." And so I'm sitting on the golf cart, and all these people start taking pictures, and I'm like, nobody knows who I am. Why are they taking pictures, you know, of the golf cart and Freddie and I, unless it was, I figured, well, it's just Freddie, you know. So I said, "Whose place am I taking on this team?" And he said, "Well, look on the front." And I walked around, it said Willie Nelson. I was like, oh God. I was like, this is not gonna be a good game. Everybody loves Freddie Powers because he's a true entertainer. A lot of people are just songwriters, or they get on stage and they sing. Freddie's somebody who, matter of fact, he was a comedian. he had a band called the Powerhouse Four, which was 3 banjos and a tuba. And I know there's some posters laying around. Every single person in the square where they have the band photo is Freddy's face, because he would interchange his band members, as we all know about that. But I think that's the key to our business, is being an entertainer. And the reason that it comes naturally for him is because he loves people. He's always loved people. He's always helped other people. He's always been a true, honest, loyal person. And so for that, you can see that in him, and people naturally gravitate to a person like that because he's somebody that you want to be.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars help to keep our country strong. Yes, the Star-Spangled Banner, it's the greatest country song.
Community Impact Newspaper is Texas' fastest growing news organization and the most widely distributed news source for relevant and useful information at the community level. With distribution exceeding over 850,000, more residents receive a Community Impact newspaper than any other publication in Texas. Our mission is to build communities of informed citizens and thriving businesses through the collaboration of a passionate team.
Now available on CD, Songwriters Across Texas Volume 1, featuring original music from Stephen Collins.
Because there ain't no music when she's gone, Lord, Lord. There ain't no music when she's gone.
Leanne Atherton.
How long and hard it rains if you have a dream.
Dale Watson.
Oh, I lie when I drank, and I drank a lot.
Alvin Crow.
And the West Texas wind just keeps on blowing, honey. Where did you go?
Available at your favorite music store or on the web at songwritersacrosstexas.com. Well, I've been aware of Freddie Powers as a songwriter, as most musicians around Austin and Central Texas would be. And the place where I live is a neat little RV resort out by Lake Travis called La Hacienda. And the owner there said to me one day, "Do I know Freddie Powers, a songwriter?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I think so." And he said, "Well, he's moving in right next to you, right across from you." And I said, "Really?" So that should be interesting. Well, Freddie, came to know Freddie. He'd be puttering around in his little golf cart and got around pretty well. And so he would stop and talk to me, and I was like flabbergasted that he would, even carry on a conversation with me. He'd seen me carrying my guitar in and out of my place and going places and dressing up and all that sort of thing. And so he told Catherine later, said, well, he'd seen you from our RV, and he said, we've got to go talk to him because he's a musician, And what impressed me about Freddie so much is he's not afraid to share his spotlight with anybody, unknown people. He's happy to work with. He's an established songwriter, one of the best songwriters to come out of country music in the last probably 20 years. And his songwriter picking parties, it was totally unassuming. It didn't matter if you hadn't cut a record, if it was your first song or whatever. If you could get into the rotation, they would put you in there and you could do your song. And he would be sitting out in front. It'd be, you might have Darryl Royal sitting out there and a lot of other people. But Freddie was that, he would give that spot to you, and it was just a wonderful thing. And that's the way he was, a giving, loving kind of man who was not intimidated by anyone else sharing the spotlight with him. And he's got a big spotlight, so it's a sheer pleasure. Freddie is a true gentleman and a gem. Yes, it's true. Place to Fall Apart is a classic country song. I always get lucky with you, make me waltz my way back home. Freddie Powers said the greatest country song to come along was a Star-Spangled Banner. He said that's the greatest country song. Yes, and we can still see by the dawn's early light that flag that proudly waved us through many dark and troubled nights, whose broad stripes and bright stars help to keep our country strong. Yes, the Star-Spangled Banner, it's the greatest country song. It remains number one on America's hit parade. No other song ever came along with half as much to say. Every time I hear it, I feel so proud I was born in the USA. There ain't no way they'll ever take this feeling away. Yes, and we can still see by the dawn's early light the flag that proudly waved us through many dark and troubled nights. Every time I hear that song, I feel so very proud. Yes, the Star-Spangled Banner, it's the greatest country song. Yes, and we can still see by the dawn's early light the flag that proudly waved us through many dark and troubled nights. Every time I hear that favorite song, I feel so very proud. It's the Star-Spangled Banner, it's the greatest country song. Oh, the Star-Spangled Banner, it's the greatest country song. Thank you, Freddy Powers.
And it doesn't matter how bad the pain or how long and hard it rains. If you have a dream, if you have a dream,